Well, good afternoon, New Heart Church family. Pastor Matt with you on this Tuesday afternoon. This will be my only video this week. We, of course, have the Mission Advance Conference that starts Thursday night. I'll be heading over there tomorrow with my wife, and she's got a lot of work to do in preparation for that, serving as the District Superintendent's Administrative Assistant. And for some reason, she thinks I'm supposed to help her. I guess I will. I'm always happy to serve, always happy to be wherever God wants me to be. Which reminds me of a story that I want to share with you today. It's the story of a fellow by the name of Bill Borden. Bill was a very interesting young man. He had gone to Yale University to study to become an attorney. His father had been a very wealthy and successful businessman and left Bill pretty much a small fortune. And that was expected to help him get started with his law practice. However, while in college, God got a hold of Bill's heart, and he gave his life to the Lord. And he turned around and gave virtually every penny that he had to various mission organizations so that the gospel would go places where it had never been before, places where it could be preached. And in fact, God called him to serve as a missionary, and he joined one of those organizations and accepted a placement into the mission field. That placement was in Egypt. But a few weeks after arriving in Cairo, he woke up one morning feeling very weak and very ill. He had a high fever, and that was really kind of ravaging his body and taking his toll. He couldn't keep any food down, and he was getting sicker and sicker by the day, and more debilitated, unable to do the work that he had come there to do and serve God the way that he had felt God call him to do. His colleagues prayed, but the illness continued to ravage him and grew worse and worse. Now you might expect to say, okay, Pastor Matt, now you're going to tell me about some miraculous cure and divine healing that came to Bill and how his recovery was a great testimony to bring thousands to the Lord. No, as it is sometimes the case, in this case, Bill died. Now, it might be very angry for us to read that kind of a story, or it might be very easy for us to read that kind of story and get angry with God. We say, well, look what Bill gave up. He gave up all that money. He gave up a career, prestige, living in comfortable surroundings, all for the sake of a call to serve, all for the sake of a God who apparently either wouldn't or couldn't heal his disease. You might even be tempted to say, well, I'd never serve a God like that. In fact, I'd tell him to get lost and just go on my own way. But you see, that would be foolish. God's plans are not always easily seen or understood, but God's plans are always better than our own plans. They're always right, and they're always for his glory and for his kingdom. Yes, it's true. Some labor for years without ever seeing results. Some die before they ever see how God actually used them in that place. But we have to have faith that if God has called us to a place of service and work, and we have surrendered fully and faithfully, then we can be certain that there's a greater purpose than we can ever imagine or maybe ever even discover. Paul reminds us that God works in and through all things to bring about his good purposes. The psalmist writes in Psalm 52, 8 and 9, that in the midst of his persecution and turmoil, he said, I trust God's love forever and ever. God, I will thank you forever for what you have done. With those who worship you, I will trust you because you are good. So let me tell you something. If you feel like you are ineffective, unproductive, not making a difference, remember this. You are his. I am his. God sets our course. He has a plan, and he will bring it into fruition. Our responsibility is simply to be ready to allow him to work in and through us to bring about those good purposes, because he can and he will if we let him. We will have a Zoom prayer gathering tomorrow night. Pastor Todd will be in charge of that. And then we'll look forward to reporting back of all the great events and great surprises and interesting things that take place during Mission Advance. We'll report that to you on Sunday. So be sure and join us, if you can, in the building for Sunday School at 9:45 and online on YouTube for our worship service at 10:45. God bless you. Have a great rest of your day.